Hello and welcome back. In this lesson, we will be covering components and design reusability in Figma. You will learn what components are, how to create reusable UI elements, and how components help improve consistency and workflow efficiency in design projects. By the end of this session, you will understand how to use components effectively to speed up your design process and maintain organized, scalable designs. Let's get started. You are welcome. We are now in section 8, components and design reusability. So we will look at introduction to components in Figma, creating usable UI elements, improving workflow efficiency with components. So in this course, I'm really going to walk you through the basics of components in Figma. Okay. What are components? Components are reusable design elements created once and used multiple times in a UI design. Instead of designing the same button or card repeatedly, designers create it once as a component and reuse it throughout the project. Examples of components. Common UI components include buttons, cards, navigation bars, input fields, icons, menus. Importance of components. Components help designers save time, maintain consistency, reduce repetitive work, keep projects organized, edit multiple elements easily. So components will help designers, will help you to save time. It will reduce repetitive work. It will help you to edit elements easily. Creating a component in Figma steps. So create a UI element, example a button. Select the UI, select the element, right click and choose create component. Shortcut Control Alt K. Main component and instance. Theme meaning main component, original reusable element. So this is the original element, this original element created. The main component is the original element created. Then the instance, the copy of the component. Instance is like the copy of the original component that you created. So what changes are made to the main component? All instances update automatically, meaning that any changes you make to the main component, all the instances, the ones the copies you created from the main component you change will be updated automatically. Reusing components. Components can be reused across multiple screens, mobile interfaces, web layouts. This helps maintain consistent design styles. Editing components. Designers can edit colors, text, shapes, spacing. Changes made to the main component reflect across all reused copies. So any changes you make to the main component is going to reflect across all reused copies, like all the instances. Workflow efficiency with components. Components improve workflow by speeding up design work, reducing duplication, improving consistency, making updates easier. Practical tasks. Students should create a button, convert it into a component, duplicate and reuse it. Edit the main component color and observe the updates. Beginner's tips. Start with simple components, which is what we are going to do in this course. Use clear component names. Reuse components whenever possible. Keep components organized. All right. So it's time to go to Figma and look at it. What we are going to do in Figma, the first one is create component. So we are going to create a component, turn element into reusable component. So we now create instance, which is we are going to make a copy of the component that stays connected to the original. We are going to edit. So let's get started. I have a button created. I've created a button, sign up button. Let me shift it here. I've created a button. So now I want to turn this into a component. So I want to create a component out of this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select both of them. Then there are many ways to do that. I can come here. You see this icon, create component. I've created a component. You look at the icon, look at how it is. So I'll do Ctrl Z. Another way is I can just right click, come down, and I'll say create component, or you use Ctrl Alt K. So I'll say create component. So I've created component, a component. So this is the main component. This is the original one. This is the main component. So I'm going to, what's the next thing we are going to do? They say that create instance. So I'm going to create instance, it's just like a duplicate of this. So you can press Ctrl D to duplicate it. Comma. Okay, go back. You can press Ctrl C, then Ctrl V to duplicate it. Or you can just press and hold your Alt key, click and drag to duplicate it. So anyone that you feel comfortable with. Anyone that you feel comfortable with. So let me do it again. So I'm going to use Ctrl D. I've created this, I will just shift it out. So now this is a duplicate of this. So now this is instance. We have been able to create instance. So let's go back again. Create instance, make a copy of a component that stays connected to the original. So edit component, modify the main component design, and update all link instances automatically. So what I'm going to do now is I will still keep creating instances. So I have like, so that we can observe it very well. So this is the main component. This, they are all known as instances. So now from the main component, we have to edit it. I'm going to change the color. Let's say I change the color to this. Notice that all the instances are updated automatically. I'll change to this. They are updated automatically. Okay, I can come here and change this to lock in. So they are changed. All the instances change automatically. So they are updated automatically. So anything I'm doing to this original button, this main component, all the instances, they will, it will reflect on all the instances. So that is it. So that means if you have a multiple screens, let's say you have these buttons across multiple screens, so you don't have to go when you want to edit. Like now, I change the color for this one. You come and change for this one, change for this one, change for this one. Like now, maybe the text was supposed to be login, not sign up. You put login here. You now come and do for this one, do for this one, do for this one. So you can just do for one and it will reflect in all. So let's go back. Override. Change certain properties of an instance such as text, color, or image without affecting the main component. Okay. For example, let's say this is login. This one was supposed, and this one is supposed to be sign up. sign up. You see, this is an instance. So this is what we call override. I can change this and it will not affect the main component. It will not affect other instances. So that means, okay, let's just say these three buttons are supposed to have login, but only this one is supposed to have sign up. So with components, automatically these ones will be updated. Then it will save you the stress of updating for this one, and this one. So you can just, by doing for this one, the two will be updated. Then with this one, you just come and update it to what you want. I can also change the color of this without affecting the rest. Reset instance, restore an instance back to original component settings. Okay, let's say I still want to go back to the way it was. So I'll click on it. I'll come here and I will say reset instance. So now it will go back to the way it was. All the changes I made to this button, that changes I made during the override, I've been able to reset it back to how it was. So what's the next thing? Detach instance. You say remove the connection between an instance and its main component so it becomes an independent design element. What if you don't want this to be an instance? You don't want this to be connected to the main component, meaning that any changes you make here will affect this. So you can disconnect this from these three buttons. So what you will do is you click on it, you come here and you say detach instance. I think you right click too. You say detach instance. So meaning that this guy now is on his own. Anything I'm doing here will not affect it anymore. This is the main guy. So anything I'm doing here will not affect it anymore. It's just affecting the rest. So this guy now has been detached from the source, which is the main component. So another thing is restore main component, reconnect or revert changes to match the original main component design. What if mistakenly I delete the main component? So the main component has been deleted. I can bring it back. I can click on any of the instance and I will click on restore component. So with this, I will bring back the main component again. So this is the main component. I will bring it back. So okay. So those are the basic things you need to know about components. Components is very, very important in your design process. Very, very important. So like I explained here, workflow efficiency with components. Components improve workflow by speeding up design works. Imagine you have like 10 buttons that are related. So you can just convert it to components, meaning that you don't have to be editing them independently, like individually. You can just edit the main components and the instances and it will and the instances will be updated automatically. So it helps to speed up design work. So all right guys, so that is it about components and design usability in Figma or in UI UX designs.